11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. What a fight! I think Guerrero won it.
Juan, the Hispanic causing panic, Lascano. Smile from Manny Pacquiao. Oh, counter serve!
And thanks to those joining me live and those that be joining me on the archive, D-Style Boxing. Here, if you like the content, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe if you do. All right. I appreciate all the support, all the recent new subscribers. I appreciate everyone who's been tuning in to the live shows, Roundtable, ATP, the whole nine. Just wanted to come on live here in the aftermath of the Saturday night boxing. All right. We got Luis Puente in the chat, Anthony Sanchez, Team Batman Boxing, who's in shock. So am I. And salute to you too, brother. If you're here, comment, let me know what you think, and hit the like button. Jab that like button. All right. So I know there was other boxing that happened, but I'm specifically just going to be talking about Tim Tszyu versus Bakram Murtazaliev. I haven't watched a lot of the boxing that happened. I still got to catch up to it. This is the only fight, believe it or not, that I saw the whole weekend. That's how busy I've been working and all that good stuff. I'm going to be working this full week. I'm going to be working every day until Monday of next week. No days off, right? Working it straight, and I'll be going to Pueblo, Colorado for the World's Amateur Tournament out there next week. So that should be fun. I hope Gennady Golovkin's there, for example. You know what I mean? And all that good stuff. Look, first of all, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, right? Tim Tszyu got blasted in there, right? That's what happened, right? Knocked down several times. I believe 5 or 6. I lost count. And they threw in a towel. I just learned that it was Nikita Tszyu that threw in the towel, right? Whether it was him just saying, "Hey, I don't want to see my brother get beat up anymore," or whether it was just the corner collectively making that decision. He was I have no idea, right? But the towel was rightfully thrown in, and people out there have a lot of opinions. I want to talk about perspective, and I want to talk about um, the boxing community as a whole, the boxing industry as a whole, and people in the industry, particularly people like Lou DiBella. And I'm sure you've seen, if you haven't, Lou DiBella's tweet, whether it's still up or not, I don't know, right? But Lou DiBella, along with others like Andre Berto, Sergio Mora, their reaction to the result of this fight is a true reflection of what's wrong with the sport of boxing, right? Is a true reflection of the flawed mentality of the sport. Is a true reflection of the reason why people are leaving the sport in droves, right? And I don't have a problem with, I guess you could say, results of fights, right? Like, I have no issues with pointing out the facts, right? The facts is Murtazaliev beat Tim Tszyu, knocked him, he dominated the fight and knocked him down several times. So the hook was on point, and Murtazaliev looked like a beast, and he annihilated him in that ring, right? It was a rough night in the office for Tim. There's no issue with that because that's what happened, right? Like that's not the issue, but that's not their reaction, right? That's not. Sergio Mora comes out, what are we doing? Tim Tszyu, let me pull up the tweets, right? We're going to pull up these tweets, and we're going to start off with Sergio Mora, right? What can I? Sergio Mora. So, oh man, why can't I find it? Oh, there we go. Why can't I find this tweet? Are these people deleting their tweets or something? Hold on. Because he's been responding to people. There we go. This is the Johnny Come Latelys have been coming out like hard this week, right? So let me see. All right. There we go. Tim Tszyu coming off a tough split decision loss against a 6'6" southpaw with 80-inch reach. And what does he do next? Decide to fight a strong, undefeated Russian champion. Right? So he's praising him. And Lou DiBella said this. Look at that. Lou DiBella. Perhaps the worst career decision making for a star level kid ever. Horrible promoter, manager, corner, judgment, both one, allowing Tim to continue the Fundora fight, and two, following that with a beast like this guy who brought no gate or name recognition to the fight. We'll leave it with that. Right? We'll kind of leave it with that because I think that tells the whole thing. Right? Andre Berto had added that it was stupid, and why would you put him in there with this guy? Terrence Crawford came out and said, see, the fans don't know what they're talking about. Just because you don't know what guy is, it doesn't mean. And I'm like Crawford, you weren't telling people Murtazaliev was going to win either, right? Like, just chill. Like, go sit down, right? With all due respect. Johnny, I think, coming lately like crazy, like this weekend, right? Like, this is nuts. And look, people are going to talk about a lot of things, right? When somebody loses, it's easy to say, oh, he needs to change his style, he needs to change this, he needs to change that. Guys lose. Like, I don't know how other way to put it to you, right? It doesn't mean you can't make changes or whatever, but too many people are, it's whatever to me, right? What I'll say is this. It's funny to me, right, that all these guys that could be coming out. First of all, let's talk about Lou DiBella, right? Lou DiBella is a guy that really doesn't do anything unless it's with other people's money. Anything big in boxing, unless it's with other people's money anyway, right? That's number one. I don't know a big star that Lou DiBella ever developed. So I don't know how he's the expert on how you develop stars and all that, right? But he is revealing to me that he's thinking like a promoter, and this is the problem with boxing. Lou DiBella is admitting that if he had a fighter like Tim Tszyu, he would keep Murtazaliev away from Tim Tszyu, and he would protect Tim Tszyu, and he would carefully match Tim Tszyu so Tim Tszyu could look good and always win. Is what Lou DiBella is saying. Okay, that's what De La Hoya is saying when he's ragging on Eddie about Joshua not being handled correctly, right? Like that's what that means. But that's the problem. That's what we don't want. Isn't that what we don't want? What do you like? In other words, in Lou DiBella's world, Murtazaliev never gets a shot at a big name. No one ever gives him a shot to fight. I know he's the champion, but no one knew who the fuck he was till now, right? A lot of boxing fans didn't know a lot about him, right? Nobody picked him to win. All we had was the film, right? Most people, it was the first time they heard about him when the fight was announced. So a guy like that never ever gets to fight, a big name because he brings quote unquote nothing to the table. He brought a belt to the table, right? The leverage and worth that belt brings, if Tim Tszyu would have won, brings a lot to the table, right? Now you didn't win, but to say, well, he brought no gate, he brought no name recognition, it was just mishandling. But Lou DiBella had nothing to say about the fight before. Lou DiBella wasn't out. He's been a Johnny come lately. Find me the tweets of any of these people before the fight even started saying, hey, this is a horrible move. They shouldn't do this. Find me one. The odds makers saw it and they said Tim's a big favorite. Most of us saw it. Most content creators saw it and said Tim's going to win. Most of you watching had Tim winning. Nobody was saying, oh, Murtazaliev's going to win. Watch. Oh, Murtazaliev's going to knock him out early in the fight. Watch. None of you say that. So none of you saw that coming. What happened in the fight happened in the fight. That's what happened, right? But we have individuals like Lou DiBella and Sergio Mora. Like, listen, you guys got to listen carefully to what they're saying. When guys start losing and other guys win that you didn't expect, right? I don't know. In any other era in boxing, it would be something like crazy and exciting, but now everyone wants to be a manager. Everyone wants to think like a matchmaker. Everybody wants to be a promoter, even if they're not. I know in Lou's case he is, but that's my issue. He's thinking like a promoter, right? But you fans, what are you? What are you guys wanting exactly in the grand scheme of things, right? Are you wanting the best to fight the best or no? Do you want these fighters to test themselves against top opposition? Yes or no? Are you always complaining about the fighters that don't take chances for years and years, or and it's frustrating and you complain about it, but then you turn around and you complain about why did they do this? Why did they put Tim Tszyu in the ring with Murtazaliev? To me, it's not that complicated. They felt they could beat Murtazaliev and grab that belt, and it didn't go that way. That's why. That's why the fight happened. Right? That's just the reality, man. People are just overthinking this whole thing. I'm talking about the quote unquote business side of it, and people that are attacking the whole team and his management and his promoter and for this move, but none of these people None of them were screaming, "Don't do it" before the fight. None of them were saying, "Hey, we can't do this, man. Hey, keep him away from Murtazaliev, bro. He's gonna damage him. Don't do it." No. They said it after the fact. They said it afterwards, and that's cheap to me. That's weak to me, right? That's what that is. That's some weak sauce shit. Is what that is. That's weak sauce, bro. Sorry. So at the end of the day, I'm seeing. Well, all of it's fair. It's fair to point out that Tim Tszyu lost, but I'm just not seeing enough congratulations to Bakram Murtazaliev, right? People are making this about how bad Tim Tszyu looked and all that, which, I'm not saying he looked great, obviously, but not enough people are making this about how good Bakram Murtazaliev looked, right? You see, you know what's funny? That I'm the Tim Tszyu fan, right? I'm the one that wanted to see him win. And even though he lost, I'm not the one saying, "Oh, they shouldn't have done it. That was a mistake. Should have protected him. Should have kept him away from a guy like that. Why did you do it? Oh no!" Like that is that's not my way of thinking. But the problem is, a lot of people want to be the smartest dude in the room, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like they want to submit their virtual applications to Tim Tszyu. Let me manage your career. Let Lou DiBella be your promoter, Tim, because Lou DiBella's created all these stars, right? Yeah, Lou DiBella would be an amazing promoter for Tim Tszyu, right? Well, you know what Lou DiBella would do? He would be waiting for Top Rank to fork the bill to go in and do a fight. That's what Lou DiBella would be doing, right? We'd be seeing Tim Tszyu. Lou DiBella was his promoter. Like, I mean, like, what exactly would you do, Lou? Right? You guys can thank Lou DiBella for us having to sit through those two boring matches with Kambosos and Haney, right? Because he's such a smart promoter, and he made sure there's a rematch clause, and make sure he gave him 2 cracks at the apple, even though dude had no shot to win, right? And then he throws him back in there with Lomachenko, right? Like, oh, okay, whatever, right? But why do we see Maxie Hughes against George Kambosos? I guess Kambosos signed with Top Rank now, right? I don't even know who's Lou DiBella anymore, by the way. I have no clue, right? But Lou DiBella's that dude. Lou DiBella would have had like Tim Tszyu, right, fighting Joe Schmo, right, because he wants to make sure Tim Tszyu wins. We cannot risk losing, right? That dude's Russian. We can't fight him. Oh, that dude's slick. We can't fight him either, right? We're gonna have to protect you. We're gonna have to protect you for the next 4 or 5 fights for years, right? And just wait it out and wait for a Canelo fight or something until it's worth it. Then we'll take the risk, right? But that's what all these dudes are doing. And then that's what you're advocating for. That's what you're wanting. If Tim Tszyu loses, what's the repercussions that him and his team need to deal with? You, from a macro level, as a boxing spectator, what do you care if they make the right or wrong decision? Like, you should be a spectator of the sport. You should be observant of what's happening, right? And if your answer to all of this is Bakram Murtazaliev shouldn't have the opportunity to prove to the world that he's a real deal and say, "Hello, yo, I'm here to stay in this division," right? Then fuck you. Like that's all I gotta say. And I'm talking about people in the bit. I'm not talking to the chat, by the way. I don't want the chat to be, "Hey, stay away, me, fuck you." Like that. I'm not talking to you guys, right? So I want to make that clear, by the way. You know what I mean? Um, so it is what it is, bro. I'm not mad at the satisfaction some of you get that Tim Tszyu lost, and a lot of you know I'm a fan of his. So you like to rub it in. I don't give a fuck about all that, right? And I know you're going to continue to do it. It's whatever, right? My issue is with the people that are out here attacking the team, attacking the matchmaking, right? And I know what a lot of it is, by the way. I know where a lot of it stems from, and I'll tell you what. A lot of it, it's not even um, Tim's fault. Like some of the hate he's getting, it's not even his fault, right? Like there's people that hate Tim for other reasons, right? Like I was seeing a lot of this on Sunday morning. I saw some people send me some stuff, and I saw some tweets, and I even saw some stuff on Twitter, and it was like I saw some Errol Spence fans. Like, what? Errol Spence fans? Well, what does he have to do with this? Yeah, Errol Spence fans were using this to kind of like, where's the same energy? All the people saying that we're making fun of Spence because he got beat up. Like, you know what I mean? What's up? Are you not going to say anything about Tim because he's white and all that dumb shit, right? Well, that's not Tim Tszyu's fault. I mean, it's whatever, but it's we live in revenge culture, is what we do, right? People live in this revenge kind of um like oh, you did it to my guy. Well, when it happens to quote unquote your guy, whatever that means, right? I'm gonna come after you, right? What happened? Am I? Can you guys hear me? I don't know what happened. Can you guys hear me? I don't know if I'm live actually. I need a comment to let me know I'm here. Like I just want to know if I'm live. I don't think I'm live. Okay, cool. All right, cool. All right, sounds good. All right, cool, cool. I'm like, I don't know what happened. I don't like my thing went weird, and then it turned my camera off and checking my mic. I don't know what the fuck happened. That was weird. Okay. And look, it's common in boxing when somebody loses, like people just they're buzzards. Like, it's what it is. You know what I mean? I know people that have been picking Tim to lose for like 5 straight fights, and now they're like, "See, I told you." But yeah, I mean, you're like, you know, I'm just saying. Um, I didn't tell you guys to fuck off. All right. So it is what it is. Look, where was I? There's also there's also a group of fans, right, that don't like PBC, right? And they have been I'm just gonna have to call people out. Like a lot of you have been using this whole like, see, he should have been with PBC. Told them. Like you know what I mean? I mean, okay, like I guess like a lot of people have been using it as a, oh, see, that's what he gets for being with PBC. Al Heyman I saw people say Al Heyman played No Limit. Like you know what I mean? And I'm just like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Like I don't. Why would Al Heyman set up Tim Tszyu to lose to an unknown Russian in Florida? Like I mean, I don't know. You got to explain that one to me. Other than you just want to believe it because you don't like PBC, you want to prove to the fighters that PBC is the wrong place to go. So therefore, don't go to PBC because they're going to do to you like what they did to Tim Tszyu, and PBC is a wrong place. Like because that's what it is, bro. There's people out here being tribal about fucking promotions, right? And don't tell me, you guys, like, you see it. You see people out here that are using this as just another way to throw shade at PBC and how PBC is going to screw over fighters, right? This wasn't the plan, is what I'll say. Tim Tszyu was the odds-on favorite. You're not going to fool the odds makers, all right? Tim just lost to the better man that night. Like, it's not that complicated, all right? It wasn't a setup by Al Heyman. It wasn't PBC playing No Limit. It wasn't any of that. Like, I don't get, like, what, I guess I don't understand where that logic is coming from, other than people are just it's whatever. People are gonna say whatever they want to say, right? I messaged Russ Amber. I sent him a text, and he actually mentioned that he'll like to come on the show. I'd love to have him on, maybe later this week or at some point. I have a lot of respect for Russ Amber, and for those that don't know, he was in the corner of Murtazaliev, right? And I noticed that. So I sent him a message, and I posted it on my comments, but I'll read to you guys what I sent him, right? I sent him 2 texts, and I'll read them to you right now. I sent him a text. I said, I've always been a big Tim Tszyu fan, Salam, but I'm very happy for Murtazaliev. He executed great and got a spotlight he deserves, and clearly it's been a long time coming for him. I saw you in the corner. Great job, Russ. He responded, thank you, Eric. It sure was a shocker, right? So even for a member of his team, that was shocking, right? And I sent him this. Too many people are spending more energy and headlines bashing Tim Tszyu than they are congratulating Bakram Murtazaliev. I saw Lutabala say it was a dumb fight to make because Murtazaliev brought nothing to the table. In my opinion, a horrible take, and clearly Lewis revealing he'd protect the fighter of his and duck Murtazaliev instead of fighting him, and that's the problem. We need these fights because this is how a guy like Bakram gets his opportunity to show the world what he's made of, right? And Russ said he agrees 1,000%. He'll like to come on the show later in the week or something to talk about it. So we'll have Russ Hammer at some point later, like, you know what I mean? And I do feel that way. I do think, for whatever reason, boxing fans, just in general, look at things from a very glass half empty point of view, which is fair. And look, I'm sure I've done it to fighters. I'm not perfect. I mean, I've done it to fighters too, right? But for the most part, most fans look at things from a glass half empty point of view, right? They don't look at things from a glass half full. And what I mean by that is I'm just seeing more. Oh, this is a horrible move I'm seeing Tim's team being brought up more than Murtazaliev himself, right? But that's the reality. Not enough shown. Now that I've said all that, let me give my kind of analysis of the fight and what I believe happened, right? So I know there was a head clash, and Tim kind of like went like this, and people are acting like, oh yeah, yes, PTSD from like that's so stupid, bro. Like I don't know. Like, a lot of fighters do that, like to make sure they don't have a cut or something. Okay. But whatever. So I'm not gonna make anything out of that. I'm gonna be very, very honest with you, right? I'm just gonna tell you what I think, and if you guys don't like what I think, you can eat it. I just don't care, right? 'Cause it's what I think, right? let me first tell you my speculation of what I believe might have been the happen. Um, I think a combination of like maybe some pent up aggression and Tim wanting to like finally just get back in the ring and do his thing. Um, because he was eager to get back in the ring. They postponed his fight, and it like you know what I mean. So I think it was a combination of that, and we talk a lot about conventional wisdom in the boxing community, and one of them is always the way you beat a puncher is you back him up, right? Now, granted, you have to be uh, smarter about it, right? Like you got to be more poised, and you got to like it doesn't mean you back them up straight away from round one. Like, you know what I mean? Unless you have like the physical attributes to do it. So, for example, Wilder's a puncher, right? And Tyson Fury blitzed him in that second fight, caught him off guard, and then proceeded to beat the hell out of him, right? Kept him on the back foot, and that's that. And we all saw what happened in that fight, right? Um, but in this case, like Tim's not the bigger guy, right? Murtazaliev is 6'1". He's solid. He's strong. He's one of those big, strong Russians, right? And I think what happened was he tried to kind of go at it to him, like let me bring it to him, right? And it didn't work, right? Um, Now let me say this to Leon. I already said he was a better man, you stupid idiot, right? Look, I'm gonna tell you one time, or you're out of here. Like I'm not putting up with this condescending shit, bro. Right? No one's gonna say I'm talking rubbish about something I didn't say. All right. I clearly said Muchos Ali was a better fighter. I even congratulated one of his corner people. Right. So this is my take, and you could eat it if you don't like it. All right. You can have your opinion, but you're not gonna tell me I'm rubbish. This is my opinion. If you don't like it, eat it or leave. All right? Like, I don't give a shit what you do. So what's going on here? But anyway. The reality is that's what I'm speculating happened, right? And it just didn't work. I think he felt I'll be able to, he's going to feel my power. He's going to feel my strength. I'm going to outmuscle him. He's going to start backing up. He's not used to that. He's not used to people doing that, right? No one does that. No one's like, nobody, like, it's not something that someone does too much as Aliev. It could catch him off guard, maybe, right? And sometimes if you try the blitz, it doesn't work, right? And that's obviously what happened, right? That's obviously what happened here. Like that's really what it is. In the second round, right? Let's get some clarification here because I don't know what you're talking about, brother. I'm disagreeing with you that Tim lost because he was fighting in America. When did I say that? Did I say that? This is why I get pissed off because I didn't say that. How are you going to disagree with something I didn't say? Disagree with something I said. When did I say like what? Or clarify? Maybe you mistyped. So I'll let you. What are you talking about? I don't have time for people to make up things. So clarify what I said, and if I don't know. No, hold on. You said I'm disagreeing with you that Tim lost because he was fighting in America. When did I say he lost because he fought in America? I said he lost to the better man. I don't understand. Like I don't know. Like when did I say disagree with what I'm saying? Though don't make up something I said and disagree with it. Go on, Mario. What are you talking about? Like clarify, like, or at least maybe you mistyped. What are you talking about, bro? I just don't know what you're talking about. I never said that. And now you have nothing to say? You had a lot to say a second ago. Clarify what you mean by that. When did I say he lost and he fought in America? Anyway, we'll move on because I'm not going to argue about some shit I didn't say, right? So anyway, it's weird. In the second round, Tim got caught with a devastating left hook. Devastating. He was open to it. Bakram, it was a beautiful shot, right? Devastated. He drops Tim, and I think he was concussed. He couldn't get his feet under him, and he was done. Like the fight was over at that moment. Yes, he got up. Yes, he kept trying to fight, right? Um, I know ringside report. I think that's Beep. I know that's what it is. I'm calling him out on it, right? Because that's retarded. That's a dumb, whatever. But anyway, this is crazy, bro. So here's what I will say, right? Look, anybody saying, "Oh, it's just Tim," he didn't make any adjustments. Okay, right? He did it and look, that's true. He didn't. Like I'm not here to tell you guys. What do you mean? He did make adjustments. Like he didn't make adjustments. What I'm going to tell you guys is that I believe he was concussed, and he wasn't in a state to make any adjustments. Right? He wasn't even in a state to do a post-fight interview. I have no idea why they did that post-fight interview. None of you guys saw it, right? So he was clearly not all there, and plenty of people pointed it out. Crawford, live in the fight, said he can't get his feet under him. He's done, right? Nikita Tszyu is the one that ended up throwing the towel. I'm only speculating, but it could be that he's related to him. It's his brother, and he said, "Fuck this shit," he threw in the towel. I don't know if that's the case. Like again, I'm only speculating, right? But to me, it's kind of like sometimes you end the fight. It's not, it hasn't ended yet. Like it prolongs, right? But you basically like he hurt him in a way that he never recovered, right? And full credit to Bachram. That was a clear, legal shot. It was his punch. It was his left hook that did the damage, right? Like it just is what it is, right? And he proceeded to put a beat down on Tim from there, right? I think Tim showed a lot of heart. I think Tim showed a lot of guts. But this is my opinion. I'm not going to like talk everything from the first knockdown on. I'm not going to talk about it like in some like, oh, it's because Tim wasn't doing this and he should have done. Tim was out on his feet. Like it says what it is. You know what I mean? Like coming forward is actually better for your balance than moving backwards in boxing. So that's not his style anyway. So he was kind of in between a rock and a hard place, right? Um, and that's that. Like, if there's any fair credit, it could be that maybe they didn't stop it sooner. And we know he wasn't right because the doctor was looking at him after the round and took quite a while to look at him. Why else would they be doing that? They knew he wasn't all there, right? And the doctor that should be looking out for the health of Tim should be hooking him up with more time. He should have stopped that fight. If you're looking at a dude and you're not sure yet after a couple of seconds, then he's not ready to go. Like, that's the reality, dude. So Bachram did his job. He did what he was supposed to do. He picked up the pace and he said, "You're not going to recover. I'm not going to let you recover." And showed that Bachram's a good finisher, man. Like he put the finishing touches and that's it. And he won that fight. And until proven otherwise, he's a better fighter than Tim. And that's it. Because the results don't lie. Right? So, like, that's where we're at with this. All right? That's what's going on right now. Also, the corner was telling him, hey, stay away from. They weren't telling him to go at it with him. So it was, the corner wasn't telling the right things. People are accusing the corner of saying things that they didn't say. And I don't care if it was Customato in that corner after that first knockdown. Ain't nobody got, like, I don't even think, Tim wasn't even in a state to absorb instructions, bro. All right? He just wasn't. Right? So that is that. Like that's the end of the story. And congratulations to Bachram Murtazaliev. All right? Like that's how I feel about it at the end of the day. All right? Let's make it a habit to congratulate the winners. Right? Because I'm not seeing enough, hey, Murtazaliev, good win. I'm not seeing that. Like, I'm not seeing any of that. The rest of it's fair. But where's the congratulations for this guy, right? And I'm going to disagree with this comment. It would be easy for me to sit here as a Tim Tszyu fan and say, "Oh yeah, he got motherfucker, he got him with a lucky shot and this and that." And no, like he Chicago's name's in the title, brother. Come on. But hey, shout out to I think I saw Shadow Ghost. Shout out to you, brother. Right? No, that shot was perfectly timed. And I was talking to Joe Beeb about this. Like, people are talking about the fight, like, "Oh, Tim doesn't know how to block the left hook," and it's more complicated than that. It's like a sequence that I believe Murtazaliev kind of studied on Tim, and he had that shit time. That was not luck, right? That was a nice, perfectly placed shot. He timed that beautifully. He started throwing that shot with Tim, and he timed it better than Tim timed his, and that's what happened, right? So, make no mistake about it, I underestimated him. All of you underestimated. None of you picked him to win, right? All these Johnny come lately saying it was a bad matchup. They shouldn't have done it. They didn't pick him to win either. The odds makers didn't pick him to win. And nobody picked this dude to win. I'm just telling you right now, like nobody picked him to win. And as devastated as I am as a Tim Tszyu fan, I'm still. It doesn't mean like this is boxing, brother. Like this is, like all these guys are warriors and shit. I'm happy for Murtazaliev, right? And I think the people, even though they're ragging on Tim, like indirectly you're ragging on Murtazaliev, right? Who the fuck's with the ballot to say that Murtazaliev didn't deserve this opportunity? The fuck are you? Who the fuck is like Sergio Mora to step in and be like, "Oh, why'd you fight this guy for? You shouldn't have fought him," right? So, like, give this dude his credit, bro. And that's why I sent Rassam to that text. And I said, you know what? Like, this is. I don't even think Murtazaliev was trending on Twitter, bro. Like, Tim Tszyu was trending. Which is, I'm not saying he shouldn't be trending, but like, how is the winner not trending? I could be wrong about that, but I checked and he wasn't trending. But what are we doing? If all of you saw it coming, let me, as Joe Beef said, let me see your bet receipts. You could have got it 7-1 odds. And even if you knew he was going to knock out Tim, you saw it coming like more, you could have seen this coming a mile away, like acting like it was obvious. Okay, Maura, did you bet the mortgage on it? If you bet 1,000 more, you would have came out with like 1,500. I mean, 15,000, that is. If you put 10,000 on it, you would have had over $100,000 in the bank, right? If you knew for a fact it was going to happen, you could have quit your day job and just bet on this fight. You got to pay your paycheck on this fight to pick up by knockout, right? If you would have put your paycheck on this fight, you would have. It's going to take you, like, if you get paid every other week, it's going to take you like almost 6 months to make what you make, right? You could have made what you made in 6 months if you bet your paycheck on it. So whatever, bro. Lou DiBella could have bet on the fight. He could have had some money to pay these girls in this tournament he wants to do, right? You know this the Super 8 women's tournament he wants to do, and he gassed all these girls up, and then but then he said, I need somebody to fund the money. Like, you're the promoter, bro. What the fuck are you doing? I could come up with an idea too, but if I don't have the money for it, like, well, it doesn't mean anything, right? So give the dude his credit. It wasn't. I don't. I'm not saying guys don't get lucky. I'm not saying that, right? That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, like, at this level, the chances of getting lucky with a punch is very minuscule. And the way he timed that was not luck. Like, I'll just put it that way, right? I would love to sit and say, "Oh, he got lucky. It was a lucky shot." I would love to say that, right? What fighters can't control is how it affects their opponent, right? So, like, the brain's a funny thing, right? If Tim would have taken a shot and it wouldn't have rattled his brain as much, and I don't know, like, would the fight have been different? We will never know. Probably not. I don't know, but at the end of the day, if you land a shot, like Marquez landed a lot of right hands on Pacquiao, right? And then in that final fight, knocked him down and knocked him out, and whatever, right? Like, it doesn't mean you're not. It wasn't a lucky punch, though. Marcus timed it. Marcus landed it like he always did. Maybe you could say that this time, when you rattle the brain, this time the switch went off. The switch decided to go off. It is what it is, right? But it's that doesn't mean it's luck. He timed it. He landed it. So, and he gets credit for it. And look, one thing I will say is that I did say that there's two things. Like, I said 3 things about Murtazaliev, right? And I know a lot of people were clowning me about my prediction, which is fair. But I did say when he lands, he looks like a beast. Well, did he look like a beast? He was landing, right? And somebody said that, by the way. Say, yeah, he did look like a beast, and he was landing. Cool, fair. And then I did say he's relatively big and strong for the weight class. And I did say he has the way I worded it was well above average, like really good power, right? I did say he doesn't have like Julian Jackson type power or something like that, or Thomas Hearns type power. But he is very strong and he's got a really good punch, right? So hindsight's 2020, and it doesn't matter right now. But if anything, I think what Tim should have done was, and again, hindsight's 2020, kind of box a little more at mid range, and when that Soviet style kind of keeping away one punch at a time, and finding your range and getting out of there, and not being so not applying so much pressure early. And but would that have made a difference? We'll never know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things. Like, it's we know for a fact that he didn't work, so it's easy to say, well, he would have done this other thing, it would have been better because he couldn't have performed any worse, right? But if Tim did box from the outside and then got caught anyway and knocked out, I might be here saying the opposite. Oh, what he should have done is put pressure on him and put him on his back foot, and because that's what they say about punchers, you put them on their back foot, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? But I want to see Murtazaliev. I don't want to see the Tim rematch. I don't. If it happens in the future at some point, I don't know, right? I don't know, but but I don't want to see a rematch. Tim would have to get some really big wins in order to revisit that. I just think they should go to separate ways at this point. I want to see Murtazaliev in a unification. Like, I want to see, like, it's what I want to see. I wouldn't mind Crawford, Murtazaliev. You know what I mean? The winner is Spence from Dora versus Murtazaliev. I wouldn't mind that either. I think Murtazaliev destroys those two, by the way. I think he destroys Spence. I think he destroys Fondora. Crawford's a different animal, but we'll see. You know what I mean? Crawford would 100% fight a very more elusive style against Murtazaliev. But hey, you know what I mean? But this does remind me, by the way, never forget that Tim's dad, Tszyu, got knocked out by Vince Phillips. Now that was a closer fight, and he was knocked out later in the rounds, but he did get stopped brutally in that fight. And I wasn't this was in 97. I wasn't very familiar with Tszyu yet myself. You know, but this was a very devastating loss. This was in Atlantic City. And this was only like, I think, his second fight or so that Tszyu came to the US. But I could only imagine what people would be saying about Tszyu after that loss on social media. He should change his team, change his trainer, just change everything. He made no adjustments against Vince Phillips. What was he doing? He was overrated. But then after that, Tszyu went on to have an amazing run, and Vince Phillips didn't, right? And Tszyu went on to beat Relas. He went on to beat Julio Cesar Chavez, Sam Brown Mitchell, Zab Judah in a big upset, and that's when Zab Judah was undefeated. Not to mention Jesse James Leha, like, you know what I mean? So until his run was ended by Ricky Hatton, you know, and I'm not saying Tim's going to go on and do the same thing, because those are very high expectations, and not everyone is cautious, right? Not even his own son. So I'm not saying like, oh, his dad did it, so he's going to do it. The odds are against him, right? The odds of him making it to the mountaintop again and being a force to be reckoned with and being considered the best in his division are not in his favor. That's just what happens when, you know, if you lose twice in a row, and especially if you lose in devastating fashion like this, right? But at this point, they should just take it one fight at a time, right? They should go. What I would do, I would bring Tim back, just do a fight against Michael Zerafa, do it in a stadium over there in Australia, and go from there. That's a big fight. They'll both make millions of dollars over there in Australia. It's a big domestic fight anyway. And, you know, if he wins that Zerafa fight, you know, he's going to have to, like, kind of, and it's just best for him, start working your way up the ladder a little bit. If he doesn't beat Michael Zerafa, then obviously he is done. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but I do believe he beats Michael still. And just kind of go from there. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I want him to do. I think that's the right path, right? Who knows? Tim might want to jump in there with another top guy like right away, but I just think realistically, he needs to like take several steps back. Kind of like a pitcher, he's not doing good in the major leagues. You put him in the minor leagues, and so he could get his rhythm back and everything. And that's what they got to do with Tim. And just take it one fight at a time and just go from there, right? And if he makes it back to the mountaintop, he does. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Okay, and that is that. Okay. Yeah, boxing pound for pound, he was very dismissive of Murtazaliev. Um, I don't know if subconsciously he overlooked him, but Tim says he was great, and he said he felt amazing in preparation. So I'll take Tim's credit for it. I mean, word for it, you know. But as far as the arrogant part and all that, I don't get caught up with all that shit. Like, most of these fighters have a certain level of arrogance and belief in themselves, and all. Like, it's whatever to me. Like, trash talk before fights, it doesn't matter to me. Like, these guys are going in there, going to war and taking leather and giving leather and taking damage. They have a right to talk however they want to talk. Like, it's how I feel about it anyway. You know what I mean? But you know, Murtazaliev capitalized on what he saw. He reaps the benefits of it. Um, I feel like the narrative is Tim bad, not Murtazaliev good, right? And let's not forget it's a fight, and there's two people in the ring, and I'm just a firm believer that we got to give the winners credit. And if the quote unquote potential superstar or whatever, right, the A side doesn't win the fight, then like, I don't know. Unless you have stock in these fighters, I don't get why people are playing matchmaker and all that. It's just me, right? But anyways, guys, I gotta get ready for work and all that good stuff. But I appreciate everybody that tuned in. All right. Um, and I'll go ahead and wrap this one up. This is D Style Boxing. Keep it boxing. I'm out. Peace.